So today we have Edwin Carrion here. He's actually here from Colombia. Edwin, it's so nice to see you, man. Thank you for the time. We spent maybe about 30 to an hour chatting about all the entrepreneurship that you've had. I mean, really impressive how you went from, commercial trucking. You've been in the jewelry business, and now you're doing luxury real estate. You told me you're a pilot. You're in the social media game, man. Tell us what you don't do, honestly.
Well, Bruno, thank you for having me here. I appreciate it. Nice to meet you. Nice to spend some time with you. What don't I do? I don't think there's much that I don't do. I live life to the fullest, and I'll put it in that short term.
Right. Now, I got into, getting to speak to you. You mentioned that, making money is important to you. Yeah. But it seems like lately there's other things that are drawing your attention. You mentioned internship and business consulting. You're in the social media, which is obviously it's not the place where you make money, but obviously there's a path to success there. Why did you get into the social media? And then what do you think you're going to accomplish with it?
Yes, I think social media is all about personal branding. And I think nowadays a lot of people don't buy from a business, they buy from a brand. And the better that you create your personal branding, the more you're going to attract people into whatever you do. So social media has been a huge thing for me, especially into the different things that I have done. So because I do transportation and I post the things that I do on social media, I have people reach out to me. Hey, I'm thinking about starting a transportation company. Can you give me some advice? Can you give me some feedback? And then from there, I'm able to sell some consulting services, book a time with me, pay X amount of money, and I'm able to talk to you and tell you what I do and how the transportation business is done. The same thing on the real estate development side. I have people reach out to me. It's like, hey, do you have investment opportunities? Can I invest with you? So social media, when you start creating that personal brand, it's huge, but also opens up a lot of doors to other people. Once you start having that huge presence, you're able to just kind of reach out to other influencers and connect with them. And one of those things that have done for me was that because I love spreading the word of success, love teaching people that they could achieve anything they want in life, that has opened the door to me to be able to get on different stages and speak to people and share my message with them through social media because of social media.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And you've had your successes, and then you've had obviously your setbacks. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so the one thing that now, because I'm older and I'm wiser, you tend to figure out what things mean to you, right? And then to me, I figure out that each business represents something. And it's not just about the money. And yes, of course, we love to make money, but the money is like the secondary side. The reason I like to make money is because I like to live life to the fullest. I like to have my toys. I like to be able to do whatever I want and live on my own terms. And when I started thinking about the businesses and I thought about what does the transportation company mean to me, that's my cash flow vehicle. After being in real estate development for over 20 years, it's capital intensive. I have to put money in there and I have to wait maybe a year, 2 years until I get that big chunk of money back. So transportation became my cash flow vehicle. Real estate development became my wealth creation vehicle. And business consulting and education became my legacy building vehicle, meaning that I'm able to create a legacy. The moment that I teach an entrepreneur how to become successful, he's going to do the same, and it carries on for generations.
Tell me a little bit about Colombia. I'm Latin, myself. I find that there's people that love it, hate it. There's people that are, like you mentioned, bringing their capital here. And yet I find other individuals that I know in the business that are saying, you need to invest in Colombia, you need to invest in Costa Rica. There's a lot of opportunity out there.
Yes.
Why is that? Why are people fleeing, and at the same time, some people are trying to come in with capital with the lure of the incredible returns that you can make there?
Yes, I think it goes back into, let's think about women, right? I always say that women are very smart. And I always put the example of my wife, because I always see her come back with bags of, she goes shopping all the time. So I'm like, you went shopping and then she goes to me, it's like, yeah, everything was on sale. And it was like a huge sale, 20% off, 30% off. And she goes shopping. So I'm like, okay, men, sometimes we don't want to spend money because we think it's not a good deal. So what happens in Colombia? People that are going from here to Colombia, they understand that Colombia is on sale. So if you're able to take advantage of when something is on sale, you're able to make a lot of money. The same thing when the United States goes into recession. A lot of people stop buying things. They stop buying real estate, they stop buying cars, they stop buying luxury watches. They start buying a lot of things because we're in a recession. But that's the moment that we really have to take advantage of the opportunity that everything is on sale. So we got to think like a woman at that moment. Say, you know what, it's on sale. Let me go buy another house. Let me go buy another nice car. Let me go buy another nice watch, because eventually that's all going to appreciate once the cycle turns around.
Yeah.
And now the people that are coming from Colombia, bringing all the money to the United States, those are the people that are afraid that they're going to lose everything because how the economy is. So instead of taking advantage, they're looking for opportunities somewhere else. Now they're coming here to the U.S. and buying at a premium, but they understand that their money is safer in the United States.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, you have the risk reward for every country. I mean, there's guys that have gotten burned, like Venezuela, that have put it off longer and longer and longer, and I'm sure they would have wished they would have got their money out. But then you have stories like Peru, like Ecuador, like Colombia, which they've had down cycles and then up cycles. And you're right. I mean, if you can buy when everyone's fearful, you're going to get a great price. It's what we do here in the U.S. I mean, my fund, for example, we look for places where there's distress, because that's where you're going to find the best deals.
Yes.
Now we always assume that it is a cycle, that these are the lows and you're going to see the highs, but yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. Now you mentioned also to me that you found that the culture of Colombia, you wanted your kids to experience that. I mean, tell me a little bit about that. Why can't they have that life here in Miami?
I think not only Miami, I think the United States, we're very work driven and money driven, meaning that all we're looking for is, can we make more money? How do we make more money? And I am the same way as well. But having kids, I understand, and getting to a point of success in my life where I really don't have to work, having that financial freedom. Let me just put it on those words. Having that financial freedom, you tend to start focusing on other things that are more important than just continue creating more money or maybe getting to the $100 million. And it's creating those amazing experiences for my family, because that's the only thing that I'm able to leave my kids behind. So my kids are going to remember for the rest of their lives that they lived in the United States. They lived in Colombia for a few years. And in Colombia, it's so family oriented that, when we used to live here in the United States, we had a nice house and everything else, but we barely knew the neighbors because everybody was out working every day and everybody's doing their things. In Colombia, it's more family oriented. People spend more time with their families. They eat together. They spend time together. It takes us 2 hours to walk my dog, because the moment that we leave our house, we walk maybe 2 houses down and we're speaking to the neighbor and we're spending 30, 40 minutes talking to them, and the kids are playing on the streets, just like how I grew up, playing on the streets every day, going out there being kids without having to be sitting down on a tablet and just spending a lot of time on a tablet.
Yeah, I agree.
And at the same time, learning their culture and having the opportunity to be able to learn a second language, which I know is going to help them in the future.
Yeah. I've seen recently a couple, Instagrammers that will go on there and say, the video would say the reason why I left the U.S., and they'll go over exactly that. They just say the quality of lifestyle is not what it used to be. And then they'll talk about how it's so much better, whether they have, better schools, their kids have better attention, they have more time, and they list all the positives. Obviously, it's always a, pros and cons list. But I've never seen that. I've never seen where people have, talked bad about the U.S., about how the South America could be so much better in some areas,
Yes.
Obviously, you have things like crime and safety, and some people would say, I don't care what quality of life I have if I have 5 maids over there, if I have to live in fear that someday somebody's going to come and kidnap me or one of my kids, But I've started to see that trend, where people do find value in moving to South America, and for like what you mentioned, it's just a better family environment. The values, specifically here in the U.S. as a Christian, you have, the values are changing, but you can clearly see that the laws that are being written today are changing, and it's not the same values that people had in the 50s and 60s.
Exactly.
All right, so Edwin, I think we're going to do some business together. I think the luxury property is probably where we best align. I've been in trucking, and I still do it. I still do commercial loans. I've never been in the jewelry business, even though lately some guys have mentioned to me that there's a strong market for high-end watches that they want me to lend on, but I just don't feel comfortable because it's not what I do, But the luxury real estate, I think we're definitely going to be in touch for that. I know you like the Pinecrest area here in Miami.
Yes.
You think there's some value there.
If you go to my website, you're able to get a copy of my book. It's free. 9 Secrets to Build a Multi-Million-Dollar Business and Life.
Amazing. Edwin, thank you for being here, man. I know you come here from Colombia. You got to get back soon. But next time you're in town, I definitely like to sit down with you, go over some of the projects that you have here in the Pinecrest area.
Okay.
And it was a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much, Bruno. Take care.
Take
Nice
care.
to see you.